Okay?
What's up?
Good morning, Philippines. Good evening, Philippines. Good evening, world. Today is Tuesday, January 12, 2021.
We are here to inform you the latest news and updates in the world.
I am Lloyd Barata,
And I am Ira Eunice Pago.
bringing you the hottest and the latest news for this hour.
This is MK Education Live, current affairs and updates. And for the international news, Pence and Trump finalists pick after post-riot engagement. So Vice President Mike Pence received a memento from his aides and the other day. So engraved chair set aside for him in a White House cabinet room. So wheeled over the shoulder of the West Wing and delivered to the Insane House Executive Office during one of the final staff meetings. So the gift, accompanied by the standing ovation, was nearly the opposite sentiment being offered to Pence's boss, President Donald Trump. Instead of the applause, many of Trump's aides, even those who have stuck with him through the myriad scandals and embarrassments, were voicing shame and disappointments. His circle was shrunk, may have designed, and the others are still considering it. So on Monday, after the extended period of silence, Trump and Pence spoke for the first time after a deadly riot. Supporters broke out of the U.S. Capitol with a Pence inside, according to the two administrations' officials. Trump had spent the weekend largely in isolation as the aides either distanced themselves from him and limited their time in his presence. Trump canceled the planned trip to Camp David, where his closest aides were hoping to would get into a mindset ahead for his final stretch in office. Instead, he spent weekends stewing his deputy chief of staff Dan Scavino and entered his final full week angrier than ever.
And for the international news, divers in Indonesia sift through debris, seabed mud for a crash, Sriwijaya Air black boxes. Indonesian Navy divers were searching through plane debris and seabed mud on Tuesday, January 12, looking for the black boxes of Sriwijaya Air jet that nosedived into the Java Sea over the weekend with 62 people on board. A Navy ship earlier picked up intense pings emitted from the boxes containing the cockpit voice and flight data recorders of the Boeing 737-500 that went down on Saturday, minutes after taking off from the capital, Jakarta, in heavy rain. Divers were using high-tech ping locator equipment to further narrow their hunt beneath 20 meters of seabed mud, but the black boxes are buried under tons of sharp objects in the wreckage, Navy Chief Yudo Margodo said. He added that removing those obstacles was slowing efforts to reach the devices. A remote-operated vehicle was sent to the black box location, and Margodo said at least 160 divers will be deployed on Tuesday to boost the search for the black boxes. More than 3,600 rescue personnel, 13 helicopters, 54 large ships and 20 small boats have joined the search that already has found parts of the plane and human remains in the water at a depth of 23 meters. So far, searchers have sent 74 body bags containing human remains to police identification experts who on Monday said they had identified their first victim, a 29-year-old man, Oki Bisma, a flight attendant.
Meanwhile, the national news, Sinaz orders inquiry of possible lapses of Makati cops in the Saras case. So Manila, Philippine National Police or PNP Chief General Debold Sinaz has ordered separate inquiry of the possible lapses committed by the Makati City Police officers in handling the case of a 20-year-old flight attendant, Christine Angelica De Serra's death. So Sinaz said he had directorate the investigation of detective management of PNP to conduct the inquiry. I have directed Directorate Investigation and Detective Management immediately conduct a separate inquiry and to recommend to us later than January 13 their findings on any liabilities of Makati's police officers involved in ongoing investigation of the Sarah's case, he said in a press briefing at the Camp Crame. He also ordered the activization of a special investigation task group, the Sarah, to lead by the Criminal Investigation and Detection of Group or CIDG. As of now, we are still collating pieces of evidence, especially the statements from would-be key witnesses, and we are still awaiting of the results from the forensic science being conducted by the crime lab, he said. So all of this will be properly submitted before the fiscal during the preliminary investigation. So he added. So the Sarah's body found in a bathtub in Makati City on January 1st after attending a party of New Year. So her family said she was sexually abused prior to her death. The Makati City police officer earlier filed before the prosecutor's office a provisional charge of a rape with homicide against 11 men for the death of the Sarah. But the prosecutor referred the case back to the police for further investigation.
And for the national news, PNP probes mishandling of the Zara case by police. The Philippine National Police Chief General de Bolsinas on Monday ordered an internal inquiry into possible lapses committed by the Makati Police in its handling of the case of a 23-year-old flight attendant, Christine Angelica de Zera, quote-unquote. I have directed the PNP Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management, DIDM, to conduct separate inquiry and recommend to us, not later than January 13, their findings on any liability of Makati City Police officers involved in the ongoing investigations into the Zera case, Sinas told the press briefing at Camp Crame. The Philippine National Police Chief General de Bolsinas on Monday asked if investigators had mishandled the probe. Sinas had no comment. He said that he had not received a formal complaint against the PNP Crime Laboratory Medico-Legal Officer, Police Major Michael Nick Sarmiento, of the Makati Police Chief Police Colonel Harold Depositano, quote-unquote. However, we are investigating. We are conducting an internal inquiry by the PNP DIDM. Whatever the recommendation of the DIDM, we will evaluate, and the Regional Director of the National Capital Region Police Office, and I will take and compare notes. Sinas added, the Makati City Prosecutor's Office will open the preliminary investigation of the rape with a homicide complaint filed against at least 11 respondents in the case on January 12. The National Bureau of Investigations had invited for questioning the people staying in the room next to one where the Zera was found dead in the bathtub in a hotel in Makati after celebrating the New Year's Eve with friends. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara, who had ordered the NBI to conduct a separate probe, said on Monday that the person who had rented and paid for room 2207 at City Garden Grand Hotel had been identified. The Zera, who was declared dead on arrival at Makati Medical Center, had stayed in room 2209. The police claimed that she was raped and killed. An allegation the Makati City prosecutors deemed unsupported by evidence, prompting them to release the 3 men behind held for her death, quote-unquote. The NBI knows the name of the person who registered at the reception and the faces, names of the other persons in room 2207, Guevara said.
And for the local news, awareness vaccination may start in May. So in Little City, the city government plans to start vaccinating residents as against the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, in this May this year. According to Mayor Jerry Trenyas, first to get the job are person 18 years old and above, but the priority of sectors, the medical frontliners, senior citizens, local government frontliners, and the compromised, among others. Over the weekend, the city's chief executive signed a tripartite agreement with the British pharmaceutical first AstraZeneca and the National Task Force NTF versus COVID-19. So the deal reviewed by the legal city office would secure for the city's 6,100 doses of AZD1222 vaccine, enough for 300,000 city residents, or 60% of the metro's total population of about 4,704 or 250. So Trenes, chairman of the League of Cities of Philippines Committee on Vaccine Procurement, said that they will continue to talk to pharmaceutical companies so that the other cities would also have access to the vaccines.
And for the sports news, NBA LaMelo Ball becomes youngest to post triple-double. Charlotte Hornets Rocky LaMelo Ball has become the youngest NBA player in history to post a triple-double. The Hornets beat the Atlanta Hawks 113-105 on Saturday when Ball racked up 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. The number 3 draft pick of 2020 at 19 years and 140 days of age bested Markelle Fultz, who's recorded in April 2018, aged from when he was 19 years and 317 days old. Ball shot 9-13 from the field, including 3-5 from the three-point line, and was instrumental in the win. The Hornets' Terry Rozier, 23 points, and PJ Washington, 22 points, accompanied Ball in the scoring column. For the visiting Hawks, 5 players scored in double-digital legs by Cam Reddish, who scored 21, but they came up short. With a win, the Hornets improved to 5 wins and 5 losses, while the Hawks dropped to 4 wins and 5 losses.
And for the health news, DOH records 2,052 new COVID cases as total count nears 490,000 mark. Manila, Philippines, the Department of Health, DOH recorded 2,052 new COVID-19 cases as Monday afternoon, bringing the total case count to nearly 490,000. According to DOH COVID-19 bulletin, the new infections brought the number of active cases to 2,104, which comprises 4.5% of the total number of cases, which is at 4,089,736. Another 10 recoveries were noted for a total recovery count of 400,058,206. However, the 11 new deaths were added to the death toll, which currently stands at 9,416. The majority, or 84.3% of the patients with active infections, experienced mild symptoms only, while the 5.6% are asymptomatic, 3.4% will have severe symptoms, while 6.2% are in critical condition. Most of the new cases stemmed from Davao City with 140, followed by the Quezon City 93, Cavite 87, Laguna 83, and the city of Manila is 67. Of the 2,052 new cases, 861 were confirmed positive based on the test done on Sunday. DOH said that the 6 duplicate entries were removed from the total case count, 2 of which were strongly or wrongly entered as recoveries. The department also noted that the 3 laboratories were not able to submit data of the COVID-19 Data Respiratory System, or CDRS.
And for the health news, LGUs can procure rollout of COVID-19 vaccines on their own, DOH. The Department of Health, or DOH, on Monday reiterated that local government units, or LGUs, cannot procure and roll out COVID-19 vaccines without coordination with the national government, quote-unquote. The DOH, National Task Force Against COVID-19, or NTF, and the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, appreciate the COVID-19 vaccine initiatives of the local government units, or LGUs. However, as mentioned by the Vaccines CAR Secretary Carlito Galvez, LGUs cannot procure and roll out of COVID-19 vaccines on their own, the DOH said in a statement. It added that the coordination with the national government can be done through the NTF and the DOH in a tripartite agreement involving local government and pharmaceutical companies, quote unquote. This is meant to align the efforts of LGUs with a vaccine initiative of the national government which integrates and consolidates all resources and initiatives, it said. The FDA also clarified that the emergency use authorization EUA issued by the Philippine FDA does not cover the commercial use of the vaccines, quote unquote. This means that the manufacturers cannot sell directly to the LGUs nor to any identity unless they are under the vaccine initiative of the national government, the DOH said. The agency also recognized the equity issues raised on the distribution of the vaccine. Quote unquote, we assure that the public, the national government, adheres to the principle of equity where delivery of services is biased towards the vulnerable and the disadvantaged, it added.
And for the entertainment news, Charlene Gonzalez says it's hard to let go a son Andres Mulak to study in Spain. So Charlene Gonzalez could not help but get sentimental as her son Andres Mulak sets off for Spain. The former beauty queen spoke about her thoughts on her son's departure yesterday via Instagram, January 10, while she shared a photo of him at the beach. The day has come where you are starting a new chapter in your life as you head out to college. As a mom, you imagine and know that someday the day will come, but you will always think it's too far away for it to be reality, she said. As you live for the college today in Spain, know that we love you very much and we are very proud of you, Andres. Gonzalez said that despite its being a difficult decision, considering the coronavirus pandemic, she and husband Aga Mulak promised to support and guide Andres. We love you, Andres, and thank you for always being so kind and for continuously making us proud. Your dad, mama, and sister love you so much, she said. So have the best time of your life in Spain and to make lasting memories and that you will cherish forever. She mentioned that Andres' twin Atasha will go to United Kingdom next school year for university. For now, she is taking her classes online due to the lockdown in the UK.
And for the entertainment news, Ivana Alawi surprises mom with new car in emotional prank. As far as pranks go, Ivana Alawi's latest one may just have taken the cake. Her whole family turned emotional after she gave Mama Alawi a new car, just a few months after surprising her brother with a piece of land. The actress vlogger gave her mother a brand new Ford Expedition, as seen on her YouTube vlog posted on January 9. Alawi took fans along in choosing the right car for her mother in the said video, where she noted that she would also like to buy cars for her siblings too before she gets one for herself. For the said prank, quote unquote, Alawi and her brother Hash pretended to get in a fight while they were shooting a video with their mother. As the fight escalated, Hash pretended to leave their home and hid behind a brand new car. When they finally revealed that it was all a prank and that the car is hers, Mommy Alawi was left in disbelief and could only say, I am already happy just having you guys. Both Alawi and her brother also noted that this was the first time they saw their mother cry as they went on a far with Mama Alawi and their younger sister Mona. The whole family eventually broke into tears and celebrated having the new car. The vlog then aptly ended with Mama Alawi driving her new car with her children as their first passengers.
And for the trivia, the national symbol of the Philippines is the Philippine or monkey eagle, eating eagle. It is the largest of all the eagles and was declared the national bird of the Philippines in 1995. It stands up to 3.3 feet or 1 meter in height and has a wingspan of almost 7 feet or 2 meters. It is critically endangered, there are only around 180 to 500 eagles remaining. Killing one is punishable by the Philippine law by the 12 years in jail and a heavy fine.
And for our weather news. Today, Tuesday, January 12, 2021, Philippines experienced 28 degrees Celsius. The sun rises this morning at 6:24 and sets at 5:45 p.m. At 3 a.m. today, the low pressure area was estimated at 170 kilometers southeast of General Santos City. The tail end of the frontal system shear line affecting Visayas, Northeast Luzon, affecting Luzon. And that's the latest and the hottest news for this hour. I am Lloyd Pilata.
And I am Ira Eunice Pago, reporting for MK Education Live.
Good evening, everyone.